This is A-Game. Fast acting, long lasting, with no side effects.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I am your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what are we talking about today? This is why Black women never listen to Black men. That Black women don't listen to Black men. We don't want to hear what they have to say. Don't care what they have to say. Don't care about their experiences. None of that good stuff. I'm going to show you a video so I can demonstrate what I'm talking about. And the video is about 3 minutes long. So I'm not going to interrupt it, though I shall be tempted to. I'm not going to interrupt it. I'm just going to let you see it. And let me go ahead and share this video really quickly with you. And then I'm going to come back and give you my perspective.
Dating Latinas and dating. Why are so many Black men dating Latinas and dating white women more than ever? And here's my quick response. No stress, no drama, more support. And it's that simple. When we walk out the house every day as Black men, it's a high probability that we might not make it home. So the last thing we want to do is come back home to an argument, to a bunch of stress, and a bunch of unnecessary drama. And it's that simple. Is this an attack on Black women? No. I love my Black queens. I love my Black.
First of all, you little colonizers need to stop attempting to judge Black women based on European femininity standards, since we all know that we birthed all this shit. I mean, what if we started holding you to European masculinity standards? I mean, what if we started expecting you to make things like laws, or own things like land, or govern things like countries? Or what about free things like yourself or us? If you're gonna tell the story, tell the whole story. Tell the people how, when you date and marry out, that you, one, turn them into single mothers at a higher rate than even Black women. And when you do finally decide to marry them, that you have a 200% higher divorce rate than any coupling. In fact, Black men have the highest divorce rate of anyone. So I suppose that since most of those divorces are initiated by the women, that at some point they realize that the grass isn't greener on the darker side of the fence. Let me give you some high probabilities for Black women when they walk through your doors. 60% of all Black women and girls are raped or molested before the age of 18 by Black men. Black women are killed by domestic partners 3 times that of any other race of women by Black men. And 60% of all new HIV cases in Black women are from their husbands and boyfriends, not from casual sex. And since we know that Black women date out at only a rate of about 4%, almost all of those cases are from y'all. If this is your idea of love for Black queens, let me speak for the collective and say it's a hard pass. But you, sir, don't have any queens because you are not a king. You are a colonized pawn in the game of patriarchy, doing the clear man's bidding by spreading stereotypical tropes about Black women based on their standards. Bless your heart.
Okay. So you were able to hear that whole ridiculous video. It was a ridiculous video. This is Black women don't listen to Black men. Now he said something real simple. Drama, stress, and more support. She had a rebuttal. I'm going to tell you why these hyenas always have a rebuttal. Because they know they bring a bunch of drama and they don't support Black men. You know you don't. This is where all of the butt hurt, I gotta have a rebuttal, I gotta argue back a point comes from. First of all, I warned y'all about them little soft-voiced hyenas. That's a whole gynocrat right there. And she wanted to talk like this because somehow they think it makes them sound more feminine while they're saying all of the masculine things that they want to say. And they think that talking like this makes them sound like a feminine, educated woman who can overtalk her men, who know better than her men, who are better than her men. And she's going to check her men whenever he's wrong. See, that soft voice hyena, you got to watch out for them. She looks like one of them Hotep spiritual strays. Okay, they don't nobody trust them. All right, because she'll be back somewhere burning a Dia de los Muertos candle, praying over it. But anyway, I digress. First, she opened up with sign language. Shame, insult, guilt need to be right. That whole diatribe that she did was an exercise in sign language. If you want to know exactly what sign language is, look no further than that video. Because she did everything. She shamed them and she insulted them. She opened them up with an insult. You colonakers. That is a combined word of colonized and nakers. Remember when that I forgot that white woman's name that got in trouble for almost calling one of them almost calling Kobe an N-word and then trying to act, well, she did call him the N-word, but then she tried to act like she messed up by she was gonna say something else and then was gonna say Lakers and it came out Nakers. So divested black women and gynocrat black women have been using Naker to refer to black men ever since then, in case y'all didn't know what she meant by colonnaker. So she opened them up with an insult, all right? Then she went on to talk about these biased stats. Now he said something, another thing that was real simple. He said, when we go out as black men, there's a high probability we won't make it home. And I talked about black men facing a constant threat of extinction. Everywhere he goes, there can be somebody that can be called on him or some confrontation that he can have, police or whatever, that actually threatens his life. Whether he's doing something to bring it on or not, right? Whether he's involved in anything or not. He doesn't have to be involved in criminal activity in order to be shot by a criminal, or he doesn't have to be involved in a gang in order to be a victim of a drive-by, and things of that nature. So he talked about that, and then he actually talked about poor health conditions when he talked about a lot of stress, not having wanting to come home with a lot of unnecessary stress. And these gynocrats know all they do is argue and fight and act stupid. And they think if they not hollering, they not stressing you out. Some of them do this at the house. They talk in that little soft tone, but they be saying a lot of little gaslight manipulative crap to these men. And it's still an attack. It's still an argument. It's still stressful. You still being a gynocrat. You still being a hyena. You still scooping dirt with your back feet. Like, just because you talking in a softer tone and you're not animated with it, that doesn't make it less of an argument. That doesn't make it less dramatic. That doesn't make it less stressful. You still causing an upheaval and you're causing the household not to be peaceful because you're making trouble. I'm not even going to go too far into those stupid little stats she was trying. And you make them more single mothers. If they being single mothers and they got just as much control over their body as you do. She don't want to be a single mama. She shouldn't have got pregnant. So y'all like to blame these men for biological functions. That's on you. If you don't want his seed, don't take it. Simple and plain. If you don't want to reproduce this dude in your womb, don't. This is not 1856. You ain't gotta have no baby just because you got pregnant. And you don't even gotta get pregnant. That's the part that you miss. When we walk through your doors, we get raped. If you get raped before the age of 18, that means you was in your mama house. So who let that scumbag in your mama house? Your mama. Now, but don't nobody look at her to see why she had a bunch of scumbags in and out of the house that had access to you so that they could do something to you. Because if you 14, 15, 16, it's a lot of black women still live with their mama. At that age, it's not getting kicked out like the boys is. Not nearly the same rate. So you still in your mama house under her care, and if something happened, you would happen to you on her watch. On her watch. So maybe you need to, instead of blaming just random black men, maybe you need to go back and see your mama. Okay? Because if a predator was allowed into the home to prey upon you, who let the predator in? See what I'm saying? You let the predator, how you think R. Kelly got all them girls? You think he went out and just rustled all them girls up? You know, a bunch of them girls, they mama brought their daughter to R. Kelly knowing full well what was going to happen to them, and that they probably weren't going to see them girls for a while and all that kind of stuff, but then they would be getting monthly stipends out of his accounts. We from Chicago. The streets talk. And it was a lot of black mothers that saw dollar signs and they pimped their daughters off to him. Underage and all. So while we talking about who assaulted who and how that happens, might want to look at your hyena mother. Because she helped visit a lot of that trauma on you. She helped open the door for a lot of that trauma to happen to you. And that happened way more than a lot of people want to admit to. You don't want to talk about that. Are the predators to blame for being predators? Yeah. But you know, you ain't got to open the door for the big bad wolf either. Anyway, she wanted to talk about, and another thing I wanted to point out before we close out is this is what I was talking about when I was talking about marginalization and privilege at the same time. See, I told you they throw up marginalization when it suits them to throw it up in a black man's face. So she wanted to talk about, you need to free things like yourself or us. So she called him a colonizer and then called him a slave, basically. So do they recognize the marginalization of black men, but only when they want to talk crap, only when they want to try to rub his face in it to rebut some point that he made, because they feel butthurt that there are black men that are willing to say, you know what, I wouldn't mind being with a black woman, but y'all don't really support us. And the killer part is, like I said, y'all know y'all don't support black men. You know you don't support him. You know you don't like them. You don't like them. You don't support them. You don't want to do nothing with them. You don't want to build with them. You don't want to do none of that stuff, and you know you don't. So why come you can't tell the truth and shame the devil and say, you know what, he right? Because I don't even be wanting to do none of that stuff with him. I detest black men. We only date out at a rate of about 4%. That's because you can't. It's whole divestment groups of black women. They ain't got no man, white or otherwise. And they gotta always come scrubbing back to a black man. And this is where that bitterness comes in at, because she wanna be with another man and she can't, because she ain't got the goods to be chosen by that other man. Because they want what? Femininity. They want you to be a woman, and she don't know how to do that. Told you black women don't know how to be women. They failed at that. Anyway, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.